Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Rezolve AI. It is time for another update and it seems we have broken below the area of support that would have allowed us to continue directly to the upside still within this wave 3. Now this isn't full bear yet because we do still have some chances, and we will discuss about those. We do still have some chances to still trend higher within this larger structure, but yeah, most likely not within this internal wave 3 to the upside, where in this case I would probably need to consider it already complete. Now if we look from a larger time frame perspective, we are in an all-time downtrend and we did push into the last level of resistance, the 78.6% retracement. We got rejected and now we failed to hold the first level, the first area of support for direct continuation higher. In this case, we need to be very much aware, especially since we don't have a clear bullish structure to the upside that would allow us to track with high probabilities, let's say, a more secure possibility for an entry over a larger correction. For example, after we form a 5-wave structure to the upside, we form a 3-wave structure in a wave 2. We don't have such a 5-wave up. We can't be looking for a high probability wave 2 correction or something like that. There is a high risk of this forming an ABC structure that could in fact lead to new all-time lows. And in this case, I can still provide some areas to watch out for continuation in this trend higher, and we do still have the possibility of forming a 5-wave structure to the upside, but I would now need to remove this count, this extension that we were looking for within this wave 3, and consider that we have already completed it instead. And in that case, we can adjust the support zone here for a correction in a wave 4 to the area between the $6 level all the way down to the $3.4 level. Now, in the previous video, I did provide you some additional areas of resistance we could be looking for continuation lower. Yeah, initially I did provide you this orange resistance area, which was highly relevant. We pushed into the 78.6% retracement and got rejected into this massive downtrend. And at this point, we can explore how much further lower can we really go within such a correction, and what other scenarios could we really be tracking to the upside. Well, before we get into the shorter time frame here, I do want to mention it is technically possible for me to allow still an extension higher within this wave 3 and provide you a different support zone, but it would actually be fully within this larger support zone here that we will be tracking here for wave 4. And in that case, yeah, that is why I am choosing to consider it complete in this area and probably have something like an ABC here in the wave B, or a triangle, doesn't really matter the exact count. The idea is we need to consider this third wave complete. Now here in the shorter time frame, an ideal target I would be looking for, if this really is a wave C to the downside, would be the 100% extension of the wave A. Now at this point we have reached it. In the previous video I did provide you a resistance area that would allow us to track continuation lower. We did push, and from the first level, yeah, we created this continuation to the downside. Now in this structure that is forming down, I am looking if this really is a wave C correction, and it really should be if this is developing indeed as a leading diagonal to the upside. I would be looking in this wave C to form some sort of a 5-wave structure to the downside, and in that case I would need to be able to count at least an ending diagonal here, and for that to be possible I would probably need to consider this a possible wave 1, then wave 2 here, and this as a third wave down. Yeah, this could still be ongoing. Now the thing is, this wave 1 does look a bit extended, and then this could be the wave 3, but it is a bit short compared to the wave 1. Now that isn't necessarily invalidating, that isn't necessarily impossible to track, to have a 1, 2, 3, a 4th and a short 5th wave here. Yeah, the only rule we really need to follow in this case is that the third wave is not the shortest, and in that case I suppose we could be tracking something like this to the downside, we could still see an extension here in this wave 3, but in that case we would need to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that could make sense on A, B, C here in the wave 3, and then get a fourth and an additional fifth to the downside. But I am also open to tracking only the completion here of this wave 5, which is why I am going to be allowing us to push higher before we have a more clear confirmation that we have already bottomed. I would like to break here above the 78.6% retracement because of this possible ABC structure, but if I were to be looking for direct continuation to the downside, I would probably be looking at a slightly lower resistance area where it would be for a wave 4 instead, and in that case we would already be in the area of a resistance, and it would be between the $4.2 level all the way up to the $4.6 level. But for a more clear signal that we have already bottomed, I would like to break above the 78.6% retracement here at the $4.7 level instead. And if we manage to do that, we can start tracking a possible reversal pattern that could be forming. Now, so far we did manage to form a slightly higher high. Actually, this is barely a higher high. Even if we start an uptrend from here, yeah, we may still create some sort of a structure that would allow for this to be a truncation, and we could maybe consider this the third wave bottom, and then we would still need to consider a larger correction here in a wave 4. Yeah, it is quite difficult to track, to manage to get out of this rut that we are in at this point. But yeah, for now I will be watching mostly for this area that I have provided here, and if we manage to break above that, well, we can allow also to the $5 level for a reset here within this wave 4. But if we break above that as well, well, it is a pretty clear indication that we have formed at least a bottom in this direct correction, and that we may be looking for a much larger reversal, a much larger relief rally overall, even if it ends up being just still part of this correction. And for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.